Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder with another story for you. Title of this one is Am I the Astronaut for Not Wanting to Split Groceries with My Roommates? Comment with your vote. I, 24 female, have been living with my roommate Sarah, 26 female, for about a year now. We get along well for the most part. She's clean, pays rent on time, and isn't one of those horror story roommates you read about. But there's been this growing tension over our grocery situation that I can't shake, and I'm wondering if I'm being petty. When we first moved in together, Sarah suggested we do a joint grocery budget to make things easier. She had lived with roommates before, and she said it was way more convenient to just split the cost and share everything instead of trying to keep track of separate groceries. I agreed because it did sound easier, and at that time, I assumed we had similar eating habits. We each put in $200 a month, which seemed reasonable. But over time, I realized Sarah eats way more than I do. For context, I work in an office and usually grab lunch while I'm out. Sometimes I even skip breakfast if I'm running late and just grab coffee at work. That means I'm mainly eating at home for dinner, and even then, I cook simple meals like pasta, salad, eggs, stuff like that. Sarah, on the other hand, works from home and eats all of her meals from our groceries. She also snacks constantly. I'll buy a box of granola bars and they're gone in 2 days. If I get yogurt, I might have one before she's finished the entire pack. And don't even get me started on things like chips or cereal. I literally have never finished a full bag before she does. At first, I let it slide. I figured it evened out in some way I wasn't noticing. But then I started tracking what I was actually eating compared to what she was eating, and it wasn't even close. I brought it up casually once, like, hey, I feel like I don't eat as much as you. Maybe we should adjust how much we contribute? She kind of laughed and said, oh, I just eat what's there. Just grab more next time. So I started trying to buy things just for myself, stuff I knew she wouldn't like. I got almond butter instead of peanut butter, flavored oat milk she once had said she hated, and a weird brand of protein bars. Somehow, even those disappeared. Last month, I finally told her we should rethink the split. I suggested a system where we either contribute based on consumption or just buy our own food separately. She got really defensive, saying it's too much of a hassle to track who eats what, and that we agreed to share. She also accused me of nickel and diming over food and making things weird. I don't want to be stingy, but at the same time, I don't think it's fair to pay half when I'm eating maybe a third of what she is. She's been acting cold ever since, and I'm wondering if I'm being unreasonable here, or is she just taking advantage of me? She's just taking advantage of you, and she's been acting cold and weird because she knows she's about to lose the sweet deal she's got right now. You can't split things evenly if one person works at home. Like that person is naturally going to be at the trough more. It's just the trough? Was that the wrong thing to say?
I like to go to the trough.
Hey, I go to the trough daily. You know what I mean? It's like, what's here? Nothing looks good. That's the normal thing. This line before bed is most of the time like, I want something, I just don't know what I want. We haven't had cosmic brownies in a hot minute. Or Tim Tams. What's going on in our house? I think even if she wasn't working from home, I would say the fact that people have different tastes make this really difficult. What I would suggest, instead of, this is probably a could have done it differently. You might be like a 4 because of approach here. I think the general approach of starting a conversation with, hey, you eat a lot more than I do, probably not going to be the thing that's going to be received the best when talking girl to girl, right? That would seem like an attack from any girl, I would assume. Like, hey, you eat a lot more than I do. How about that? Problematic, not an opener to a solution-focused kind of conversation. Could be something like, hey, I would like to propose a modification to our grocery setup here because you're working here. You're here more. I'm rarely here. So I would like to suggest a hybrid approach. I would like to take a percentage of the amount that we put in right now, let's say half. That $200 combined goes to buying a set subscription of core items. Bread, eggs, milk, whatever it is. These core items or toiletries or things that are used equally throughout the home. Have it be a core set of items. Anything outside that set of items, you're on the hook to get yourself individually. And if you see something that is the first time you're seeing it, it's because it's not yours, and try not to take it. Or if you do, as long as you're open to the other person, like whatever. Suggest a hybrid system here as an olive branch, as a way to kind of just at least lead that direction in the discussion. And if you open with the reasoning for it, like you're here a lot more than me, not you eat a lot more than me, I think you'll experience a lot more success. But at the bare minimum, or let's say at its core, you have to understand that she's got the sweet end of the deal right now. You're asking her to give up the sweet end of the deal right now. You can't expect her to go quietly. You can't expect her to be happy about it, right? She probably knows she's got the sweet end of this deal right now, and you're asking her to voluntarily take on pain. And she's like, I don't want to. And you're like, well, I've got it now. I want you to have it. And she's like, I don't want it. So it's going to take some tact.